Rated T for teen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
For this venue, we really wanted to create this sort of epic sort of party. You know, the original song has a lot of sort of like audience cheers and stuff, so we wanted to have like this kind of vast, you know, big party happening. And so whenever you start to sort of blow up the scale on things like that, things get tricky, you know.
They created this alternate band persona. Seemed like a bit of an antique thing, and then you hear the voices in the beginning, and it's got this bandstand, kind of like old military band, the artwork from the album. So we took a lot of those elements, and we wanted to give them a psychedelic setting.
Sgt. Pepper is my favorite Beatles song, and so I sort of felt like this entire song was like one of the most important things we need to get right in the whole game. The first time I played this song in the game without any visuals at all, I was like, I can't believe I'm playing Sgt. Pepper in a video game that we're working on. You know, it was like lots of different sort of mind-blowing things happen along the course of it. After I saw the Sgt. Pepper outfits in the game, like once we had created like the 3D outfits, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be fine.
There's just lots of stuff going on in all different directions. So it was sort of a challenge, not only for the level creators, as you would imagine, but also for people like the camera artists.
The crowd itself, we took some of these fanciful elements, mixed them in because we wanted to create this sort of weird, fantastical, old-timey group of onlookers.
I think it was Dare came up with the idea of like, oh, well, they're already on this gazebo. Why don't we bring them somewhere else with a gazebo?
It became pretty epic. We were looking for, I was hoping and pushing to get one of the Dreamscapes to really go somewhere, and having the situation where the two songs, as they appear on the album, they appear in the game, connected together, sort of like a mini medley, gave us the chance to do something that actually went from point A to point B. We were trying to sort of send the band somewhere that was beyond what you'd expect. We don't want them to be stuck, and it doesn't seem that psychedelic if they're just standing in one spot all the time.
We had like an initial concept sketch from the intro cinematic that had like the balloon with bicycles and weird wings, and it was sort of inspirational to what we wanted to do with the gazebo and like going up into the sky, and that whole element wound up being pulled out of the cinematic, but it inspired what we did for that Dreamscape.
I did a quick mock-up for the balloon, the bandstand becoming a balloon and flying away, and I wanted to prove that we could do that without, you know, basically halting production on the project or anything, because there are a lot of complexities. There's this whole system that controls where the characters are standing, and sometimes it's hard to just take that whole underlying technical aspect that you don't even notice when you're playing the game and just move everything.
The whole element of the band kind of being out from their instruments and addressing the camera, and towards the end having Ringo kind of do his solo thing, it was really different from a lot of what was going on in the game.
We definitely wanted to make sure that it had the same sort of sense of imagination and wonder that goes along with all the Beatles songs, especially these sort of more psychedelic and out there ones.
Everybody has their own internal imagery that goes with these songs, so we wanted to be careful not to be overly literal, and yet always try to find that mood that made sense for the music that everybody knows so well. There are tons of references that Beatles fans can find in this level. Many of the big forms in the background of the landscape, they'll be able to draw connections to some details in the Yellow Submarine movie.
There's lots of little details in there that we put in for, you know, Beatles fans. If people know what they're looking for, they'll find something fun, and that's all I'm gonna say.